Want me to cover up my tattoos? Sure. You never said what with. Let's set the scene. So this was a few years back. I have quite a few tattoos, basically all my chest, my upper back, top half sleeves and one on the inside of each forearm, about 15 centimeters across. These last two are what started it all. I worked for a cinema chain for a long time. Always had tattoos. I landed myself a management role. More like a supervisor. The standard uniform was black shirt and black trousers. I prefer a short-sleeved shirt due to being a bigger guy and cinemas being bloody hot. My site manager quite liked my tattoos and other quirks that I had. My area manager however did not. She would come into the site, walk past 8 other staff with full-sleeve tattoos and make a beeline straight to me, stating that my tattoos need covering up and I quote, "They are not offensive, just a lot of people don't like them." Now my tattoos aren't offensive, they're just patterns. She informed me that I had to wear long sleeves to cover them up, otherwise I would face disciplinary action. I had read the employee handbook a few times because of other petty crap, so I know it was the manager's decision, my site manager, but she decided to overrule it. What she forgot was just because the normal retail staff had to wear black, management was allowed to wear white. Just nobody did because it was hard to keep clean. So, what should I do? I know, let's go and buy the thinnest, cheapest, most see-through white long-sleeve shirt I can find. Now if you could only see her face when she came in next, when I'm basically wearing a shirt more see-through than tracing paper. I'm telling you can see the color shift from my individual chest hairs. And all my tattoos are on show for everyone to see while stood behind the tills talking to customers. Needless to say, I got to wear my short-sleeved black shirt again after that. Now to the comments. An ex-co-worker, dental assistant, was given a write-up because a patient complained about her tattoo. The tattoo was a small butterfly in the wrist. Apparently, the patient felt threatened because of the tattoo. The dentist, owner, gave a verbal lashing to the poor assistant, that the girl was left in tears and was sent home. I don't understand why people make a big deal about tattoos. If they are not offensive or obscene, why do they care? I saw other people get in trouble because of tattoos. My car salesman got in trouble because an old couple complained about his tattoo sleeve. The sleeve was made up of different superheroes with a massive Hulk. I just don't understand those people. Some people are curious about things they don't understand. A majority are indifferent. However, a small vocal minority feel threatened by things they don't understand. That patient ruined the assistant's stay because of a butterfly tattoo, which was about the size of a quarter. Honestly, I just feel like some people are so miserable that they just want to spread the misery to not feel alone. I had a teacher who was in the middle of a divorce and she would go into a restaurant examining the wait staff from head to toe. If she saw a tattoo, she would ask for the manager and complain about the waiter/waitress and wanted them punished. "You're my kinda dude." OP replied, "Thank you. You do seem to share the same sense of humor as myself. I'm picturing you in one of those Filipino-style dress shirts that the only significant fabric is at the buttons, collar, and cuffs. LOL." OP replied, "It wasn't far off. And it was hard to find something so thin. Especially since you said you're a big dude. I'm just picturing you going into some high-end fashion store and asking the tiny attendant if they have anything white and completely sheer in your size log. It would have been cool to get tattoo sleeves. There you go. They're covered now." OP replied, "Dang, why did I not think of that?" Does anyone have a theory as to why so many people dislike tattoos seemingly on principle? It seems like such a cultural relic to associate them with criminality these days. OP replied, "It's shifting a lot, but a lot of management and higher-ups are still of the older generations where tattoos are ground upon and you should be clean-shaven too. So it's a hangover from older times. Give it 20 years, it will change a fair bit, but we'll still have issues." The clean-shaven thing started during World War I when you couldn't really effectively use a gas mask with a beard. I'm ugly enough that I have to file an environmental impact statement if I want to shave the beard off. It's just too scary. Can we have some pics of your tats? I'm curious how not offensive, just a lot of people don't like them they are. You know, I like this way of handling it. I too had an employer who suddenly changed their mind about my tattoo. Told me I had to wear their long sleeve uniform shirts, which were built for winter. 2 weeks later, they paid for my 2 days in the hospital with heat stroke/concussion because I wasn't allowed to leave my post and hit my head when I passed out. OP replied, "Ouch, that sucks. Luckily, even though I get really hot in general, I've never been at that point. I used to work at a pizza place, and was eventually asked by one of the owners to cover my tattoos. Their logic was, oh, yours are really nice, but if we let you do it then we have to let everyone do it. I just don't really get the logic. What, some employee with a giant swastika on his arm will complain I get to show my tats off? Why would you hire swastika dude in the first place? How is that my problem?" OP replied, "Agreed. If it's offensive I get it, but dang, have some logic about it." Plot twist, she just wanted to see your perky nipples. Never understood why tattoos, though I wouldn't get any myself, have to be a taboo in society. You can still do everything normally. It's kinda like being a different skin tone, but a choice. We shouldn't belittle because of it. When I read the heading, a story unfolded in my head that was quite different. In this story, a tattoo artist receives a customer who wants his tattoos to go away/be overpainted, and is so condescending to the artists that the artist just tattoos stuff over the old tattoo that it embarrassed the tattoo-wearing person. OP replied, now that would be interesting. I personally wouldn't get a tattoo, certainly not a sleeve, just not for me, but I seriously don't get why people get riled up about them. As long as it's inoffensive, then it really doesn't matter. There are some formal workplaces where you should consider covering them up, but I seriously doubt a cinema is one of those places. Just a tight ass in my opinion. OP replied, no, I agree with that. Especially when you can't walk into a cinema anywhere near me without seeing tattoos, piercings, funny colored hair. It's the sort of job that attracts alternative people. The cover up your tattoos rule is beyond me. It's 2019. If you have a curse word or nudity or something offensive, yeah, cover it up. I work in healthcare as RN in the hospital, and I have never once had a patient, visitor, or staff member express concern. If anything, they are curious. I have a large right forearm tat and one around my left wrist. Regardless, my tattoos, or anyone's, do not impair the ability to do my work. Yeesh. Glad you thought of the old white shirt razzle dazzle. A friend of mine played a character in a limited-time show at Disneyland, and the character was a rock star. My friend had to wear costume tattoo sleeves over his tattooed arms. I still think it's hilarious. Apparently, it was for copyright reasons. His tattoos are all non-offensive. Patterns mostly. At my job I got a henna tattoo and was told by the big man district manager that I needed to cover or get fired. It was a hobby shop, so I went to the fabric part and got the gaudiest Cars 2 sequin fabric I could find and wrapped it all around my arm, and the district manager saw me, literally snarled, and said thank. This makes me laugh because nipples. Bonus points if they were pierced. Take that, pain in the ass manager. The restaurant I worked at had a tattoo policy that led employees to cover tattoos with an ace bandage. It was a greasy job, and no one really monitored the condition of the bandages, and they quickly became stained, tattered, unsightly, and a genuine sanitation concern that was still completely overlooked by management. Fun stuff. I have both arms covered in sleeves. One entire arm is just different variations of skulls. My other arm has an inverted pentagram on the elbow. I used to be scared of the last one, as I am in the service industry, and occasionally work in churches and for religious people. I've never had one word spoken bad about my tattoos, even had a pastor last week that said he liked my ink. Like my tattooist said to me once, you're covered, no one sees a tattoo. It's just one giant blind eye.